we're back on the porch for another edition of Mike Finds Things, where I go out and find really cool old records and things at local estate sales, thrift stores. Occasionally I pick up a record lot. We are 75 subscribers away roughly from 1,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. It helps us out. Leave some comments about some of these records. And tell a friend about the channel if you know they might be interested in seeing all this cool record stuff on the YouTubes. This week was kind of, well, I think this is a couple weeks worth of records in this video, and the sales were dismal. Let's just leave it at that. I did find some stuff at thrift stores. The thrift stores were kind of dismal as well. I'm hoping this week changes. My kid is off on Friday from school, so we're going to try to hit some local sales that day since she likes to go with me. And then I'm off to Vegas very shortly for my other channel, which is my name, Mike Frankovich, for the big SEMA event, which is my other channel is filming car shows and car events and things like that. But we got a little bit of just about everything in this one, not a whole lot of it, so it might be a little bit of a kind of a chill video. There's a little gardening going up way up the street. Hopefully the mic doesn't pick it up, and we got a little breeze, but my microphone deals with that. So we're gonna get started. I went to a sale. This one was really local sale. I don't think this was more than a few minutes from my house. I only got a couple 45s. They did have LPs. There was nothing good. All the LP guys were very disappointed. I went right for the 45s because I could see this first one in the picture on the estate sale listing. So at least I thought there'd be more stuff like this there, which there wasn't a whole lot of good. There wasn't really a lot of good 45s. This one's a kind of an interesting one. It is a Canadian pressing on stacks of Philly Dog by the Marquis. Now check out the Canadian label. I'm sure if there's any Canadian viewers are like, yeah, we see those, but don't see a lot of Canadian pressings. This one's pretty minty. Of course, the B-side is Honey Pot. Let's see, on top of stacks here it says Made in Canada. And I'm not sure these next two records I got at this sale have London Records 45 sleeves from Canada, so I'm guessing that's how they were sold there, would be a guess. So probably original sleeve. Still cool to find a Stax, variation of a label of a Stax label that was kind of confusing. I've never seen before. It's from 66. I did find one sold comp at $10. There are 4 halves and 23 wants for this variation on Discogs, so I'll use that information. If I quote a sold prices, usually it's Discogs, unless I denote that I saw it. I don't think there's anything here that wasn't Discogs this week. Sometimes I have to go look at other sites. A cool, like a black label Stax record instead of the lighter color ones we usually are accustomed to in this country. Here's another Canadian pressing on Parrot. It still has the London sleeve, just like the last one. 66. It's kind of a mod rock and roll. This was a hit in the UK. Was released in the US on Parrot, on the US Parrot label. The Canadian version, I can only find one sold comp at $8. There are 1 halves and 17 wants for the Canadian version. It is the St. Louis Union with their cover of the Beatles song Girl. I'll hold that up because you've probably never seen the Canadian Parrot label. As the sleeve goes flying off the porch, I'll get it in a minute. We got a little bit of wind today. Don't worry, it doesn't go anywhere bad. We hope. So, and then the B-side is Respect, which of course is the Otis Redding, and then of course later done by Aretha Franklin, the much more famous version. But of course originally it even says they're written by Otis Redding. On the Parrot label, kind of a mod rock song. I have to remember to go get that sleeve after we get done filming this video. I'll remember, it's just right there. Let's see. Next one we got 2 from the same artist. This one is autographed from 57, R&B record. This guy did a little bit of instrumental stuff. I'm going to hold on to the sleeves if I can. Low of 2, mid of 7, high of 20. Beautiful Weekend by Googy Renee and his band on Class Records. And it's very hard to say. It says to Bev, and it's signed Googy Renee, but the label's kind of dark. I don't know if it's going to come through in the... Yeah, it probably won't come through in the video, but it is autographed by Mr. Googy Renee himself. Not the whole band though. Not the end is band part. They didn't all autograph it. And the B-side is Rock a Boogie on Class Records. That I literally didn't even notice it was signed until this morning when I was going through these records. Low of 2, mid of 7, high of 20. I'm not sure if I mentioned that or not. Moving on to the next one, we got another Googy Renee. This one has a low of 3, mid of 8, high of 14 from 57. Make sure it's not autographed, and they didn't. Oh, it is. This one's autographed too. I'm sorry. At the Break of Dawn. There you go, on Class. And it's autographed on the Twilight Walk sign. Same thing to Bev. I don't know if you. We'll see if it comes through. It is autographed. You can see it. So occasionally I do find autographed copies. A lot of times with these, these artists that weren't as big, they would take records to their shows and sell the records at the show, which they still do. Like punk bands do that to this day. And sometimes they could autograph them. There's a Rockabilly instrumental, and I always talk about Rockabilly 45. This was from 58. It's a bit of a lower value Rockabilly, so if someone's just getting into Rockabilly, this probably be a good one to pick up. Low of 2, mid of 3, high of 5, so a very low value one. Big guitar by the Owen Bradley Quintet on Decca. So not a whole lot of value on that one. And a Sentimental Dream is the B-side. Let's see that one. So that came from the same sale, and I believe it's the same one. The two Canadian ones were from a different sale than the last couple ones. I do remember that because the Canadian one, I think I only bought a couple things at that sale. I can't remember what else I bought at that sale. It's a blur. I need to start like writing notes when I have to accumulate like 2 or 3 weeks to just make one video. I have to do that. Here's one that's kind of interesting. I don't know if I've ever come across this or just subconsciously never really thought about it. From 56. This song was originally done in 54 on Dewtone, which we found those. We found 78 copies with a couple different label variations. But this one is Earth Angel by the Penguins on Mercury. And I did look it up. This is from 56, so it's a different version from the Dewtone, apparently. The Dewtone one's the one everybody knows. That's the one with Hey Senorita was the A-side. The B-side was Earth Angel, which of course is the one that got a lot of play. This one, the B-side is Ice. So apparently they had a dispute with Dewtone, went to Mercury, and then redid Earth Angel for Mercury. Apparently this version was released on a 78 as well, which I've yet to come across. Of course, the Dewtone one is the one I've always found locally, probably because it's a local label. This version of this 45, and this is an easy one to overlook. Low of 8, mid of 1150, high of 15 on Discogs for the 56 version of Earth Angel, which, I mean, I never knew that was a thing. So, because I said the ones I always find locally are Dewtone, the original Dewtone ones. So, I actually knew there had to be a story, so I looked it up. I looked it up on Wikipedia, and it kind of read you can read the story on there. It'll tell you about why they went to Mercury, and of course it was money. It's always money, isn't it? It's always money. So that's why they went to Mercury. Redid it and had a different B-side on that one. Which, of course, Earth Angel was originally an A-side, which was originally a B-side, which we've discussed, and then the A-side was Hey Senorita, but it didn't go anywhere. Another one from the same sale, one of my favorites to find. Does have a little bit of value, even though it was a hit. From 1958, the instrumental rock and roll, rockabilly, surf-inspiring, well, you know this one. It is Link Wray and his Raymen with a Rumble on Cadence. Of course, I've got a couple copies of this. This is the ones I always pick up because what a great song. And the Swag is the B-side. Low of $1.50, mid of 11, high of 48. Someone paid $48 for Rumble, but that's always a good one to pick up. What a killer track. One that I'm sure everybody watches this video knows that song for the most part. If you know 50s rock and roll, you know Rumble by Link Wray. Got some Exotica records. I pick them up when they're clean, okay? Don't get on me. Exotica is very popular locally. A lot of people like this stuff. They want them for their big console units, their mid-century console units. I will say my 58 Philco Predicta TV is working now, and I figured out how to hook up a DVD to it, so I'm going to probably be playing Munsters on my porch. I found a Munsters DVD at one of the thrift stores. Like 30 episodes or something of the Munsters. So I'm going to be playing Munsters on a 58 Philco Predicta TV with the one with the separate tube where it looks all space age. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I would do Twilight Zone, but that might freak out the kids, which is probably a good thing, but I don't know. 1961, we got a stereo version of this one, an Exotica classic. It is Yellowbird, Arthur Lyman. I think we found a copy of this on a mono recently. And it was also released as Percussion Spectacular, I guess, later on. This one has the gatefold. This one has a really cool About High Fidelity gatefold. We looked at one of these last time I found it. So these go from about below $1 to high at 20 on Discogs. This one was so minty, I grabbed it. Like the jacket's minty, the record's minty. I think it's got, there you go. So something to just throw on and, enjoy your cocktails. Probably one of the more common Exotica albums, as you will see, from 1957. This one's actually kind of a rare pressing of it from 1970. This one has 19 halves and 96 wants on Discogs. No sold comps. One guy's asking 24 for it. It is the last Liberty pressing of Exotica by Martin Denny. So sometimes you got to check these even when they're really common Exotica records. Apparently this one's got a little bit of value, and it's got the final label style. Let me see if I can get it out. For Liberty Records before they did away with the Liberty Records and just went to United Artists. Jacket's in really nice shape. The record's in really nice shape. I grabbed it because it was so minty, and then when I started looking up label I'm kind of surprised I went down the rabbit hole of label variations on this one, because, but yeah, apparently it's a rare variation of a stereo version of Martin Denny's Exotica. Because you wanted more Exotica records and space age bachelor pad stuff, here we have another king of that genre. With Tamboo, Les Baxter, his chorus and orchestra from 1955 on a high fidelity. And I did a show years ago, the Surf and Turf Hour. We did surf music and cocktail music. This one, the record's doesn't have the inner sleeve, but the record's in really nice shape. Low of 2, mid of 13, high of $161. Someone paid $161 for a Les Baxter record on Discogs at one point. Go figure. So here's one that came from the same sale, but it's completely different. This happens sometimes. We've got from 1977, this is a sealed copy, but with the return corner cut out of it. Al Green, The Bell album. It is completely sealed, but unfortunately it was a return. This does affect the value. Low of 3, mid of 8, high of 27. So let's just call it a $10 record because of the thing there. But a sealed Al Green album. In fact, I know one guy, he deals a lot. I don't sell really, but another guy he deals, he just opens the sealed ones because people get weird, I guess, about when they're still sealed. I don't know. From 1962, I really wish this was in better shape. This is a guy I like to find on 78 when I can. This one's an LP, though, from 62. Mono version, one sold comp of $10.54 for this pressing. There's a few different pressings of this one. And it's one of those Crown records, which was based in Los Angeles. I think their plant, they're trying to make the old record plant a historic landmark or something now. I think I'd seen online. It is Joe Houston doing the twist, getting in on that big twist phenomenon. Okay, it says their address was 9317 West Washington in Culver City, so near where I grew up. And it's got the whole list of different Crown albums. course, now we got gardening. It's pretty far away. It shouldn't be too bad. Okay, it's been a while since we had gardening going on in the background of a Mike Finds Things video. Doing the twist, Joe Houston. This guy could really play the saxophone too, man. I always enjoy his records. He was very popular here in LA because I do find his records quite a bit. I got a couple 78s of his that are worth a few bucks too. He recorded for various labels. Like he was all over the place label-wise. Here's another LA-based artist, one that I do find occasionally. I have the similar label variation on 78. This one's a 45. I think there's only one 78 in this video, which is coming up here in a couple minutes. This one is on Combo Records. Chuck Higgins, the Pachuco Hop, which is considered the first of the Latino rock and roll records. It's kind of a jump blues rock and roll. This has a low of $2.50, a mid of $22.50, and a high of $75. I know the 78 has a really good value, and the B-side is Motorhead Baby, not the band Motorhead. Lemmy's not playing on this one. On Combo Records, there are a few there's a blue label variation of this I've run across as well. And also on the 78, there's a couple different label variations. But I do have this one with where the combo looks like it was hand drawn. I've got a couple. I think I've got a couple different of the 78s with that label variation. That one's very popular. It appears on a lot of the Latino rock and roll compilation CDs you'll find out there. Another Jump Blues one is from the 50s. This one's from 55. Only sold comp I can find on this one was $19.50. You know this artist if you collect like 50s R&B stuff. On Savoy Records, I always look for stuff on Savoy. Piddly Patter by Nappy Brown. Usually find like Don't Be Angry by Nappy Brown. And the B-side is There'll Come a Day. So that was kind of nice to find. I'll put that one away. I gotta remember to go get that one sleeve that flew out of my hand, flew off the gust of wind came by. Here's our only 78 of the video. We've got it's an artist. If you collect Doowop, you've come across this artist from 55. Only sold comp. Okay, Discogs sold comps on 78s or so, but the one did sell for $6 on Discogs. It is the Ravens with Green Eyes on Jubilee. So a well-known doo-wop group from the 1950s. I believe they started in the late 40s, actually. I believe I did find one from the late 40s once of theirs. The Bells of San Rafael is the B-side on the pink label Jubilee. So it's kind of... It's always good to find doo-wop, even if it's like a lower value on the 78. Something a little different. Here's one. We have a 1960 Cha-Cha record. I grabbed it mostly because of the artwork, because I thought, okay, maybe I'll just take a chance on it. Low of 3, mid of 6, high of 15, so nothing crazy value-wise. Fortunately, the jacket's a little messy, but it's got the cardboard jacket that always falls apart. Tuesday, Too Much, Mr. Cha-Cha Renee Tuesday. I like that. I was like when they have like colors and stuff like that on these albums. So they would probably appeal to someone who collects cocktail records. It's on GNP. Let me see, I don't know if I can get the record out. Record's like falling out. Record's okay. Record's in good shape. So there you go. Again, nothing that's a high value. I believe I came from the same sale as those last couple, right? Those 45s and the 78. This one was from 58. An artist I did a tour of a museum exhibit of. If you watch the channel, you already know what that is because I only did one of those. We had a Louis Prima exhibit at the Italian-American Museum in Chinatown in Los Angeles. It's in Chinatown. Actually, Chinatown, Los Angeles used to be a French and Italian neighborhood before it was Chinatown. There's your trivia for today. This one's a minty copy of a Las Vegas Prima style Louis Prima with Keely Smith and Sam Butera and the Witnesses from 1958. And I'll be in Las Vegas for SEMA very soon. I still have to book my hotel room, so not terribly excited about how much that's going to cost me this year. I always say Louis Prima pops up a lot, but when it's nice, it's nice. And I like Louis Prima, so there you go. I bought it. Low of 2, mid of 8, high of 40 on Discogs. Not sure who paid $40 for a Louis Prima album on Discogs, but there you go. Louis Prima albums are great. You just throw them on for a party. Everyone's happy. Here's one from 82. Here's an artist I will be seeing live next May at the Cruel World Fest, not far from here at the Rose Bowl here in Pasadena. This one's a low of $1, mid of 5, high of 16. It's a 12-inch single on Island. Check out the original jacket. Oh, you got the price tag on the back. I'll take that off later. This one is Blamage, so for all you new wavers. This is Living on the Ceiling, 12-inch single on Island. And Feel Me is the B-side on that one. But Blamage will be playing Cruel World this year. I've never seen Blamage. All the 78 collectors are like, who the heck is Blamage? I have a very wide range of musical tastes. We go from Doowop to Blamage. And because you wanted more new wave, or we got a couple more records that aren't new wave coming up, but we got from 1984 a group I did see at Cruel World last year, and I also did see them open for Madness this year. We got Berlin, 12-inch single, Berlin, No More Words. There's an LA band. Low of 236, mid of 6, high of 15. I like picking up those 80s new wave 12-inch singles when I find them. And I did not have this one. So I do have Berlin. I did not have this 12-inch single. The jacket needs to be, this is one where you can glue them back together pretty easily. Record's nice. So Berlin, no more words. I wish they had some hits. They had a bunch of hits. Terry Nunn of Berlin. This is a weird trivia for you. She actually tried out for the role of Princess Leia in Star Wars, and of course Carrie Fisher wound up getting it. That's kind of some interesting trivia for you. But Berlin, there you go. Here's one. It's a soundtrack. I had never seen it before come up for sale anywhere. It's very similar to a few weeks ago we had the Never-Ending Story soundtrack. And I thought I've never seen that out in the wild, so I just grabbed it because I like the movie. I remember from when I was a kid. Here's one from 1974, so from the year I was born. It's a rock and roll doo-wop record with a return cut in the corner. They only did two versions of the three different versions. They did a French pressing and then two U.S. pressings. One was a promo. This is not a promo. Those have a return cut. It is the soundtrack to the movie The Lords of Flatbush. Of course, it's got Henry Winkler and Sylvester Stallone on the cover from the movie. And it's got music from the movie. Not one that was a popular one, but apparently they have a low value of $1.50, mid of 10, high of 30. So people do want the soundtrack, and it's not a common one. Like I said, I don't think I'll probably never come across another copy of that. And our final record today, here's one from 1990, a 12-inch dance single. It's a U.S. pressing of this one. It's probably the only dance song I can think of that samples "How Soon Is Now" by the Smiths. But it's a hippie chick with Soho. This was very popular when it came out. I remember my sister loved this song. So I picked this one up at the thrift store. I should say those last couple records were from the thrift store up to, starting with the Blamage single. Those were thrift store finds. So not a lot of thrift store action this week. Hippie Chick by Soho. From 1990, low of 22 cents. Who are these people that want to waste their time selling records for 22 cents? Mid of 4 and a high of 15 on that one. So somebody sold a copy for 22 cents. They were bored, just wanted to go to the post office, I guess. All right, that's what I got. Not a crazy long video for this week on Mike Finds Things. Please subscribe. We need those subscribers. I'm hoping if I don't find anything, I really got to go back through those 45 lot that I bought 4 or 5 months ago. The ones I kept. I have a box of the good ones. I might just do a video just on those, just to get a video up of that. If not, I'll do another video of stuff from the old part of my collection, because I do want to get through those so I can start refiling those and figure out what I'm going to sell out of that. which would be great. So like I said, like, subscribe, leave some comments, and until next time, I'll be seeing you.